It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister. And I've agreed with Sir Graham Brady, the chairman of our backbench MPs, that the process of choosing that new leader should begin now. And the timetable will be announced next week. And I've today appointed a cabinet to serve, as I will, until a new leader is in place. But as we've seen at Westminster, the herd instinct is powerful. When the herd moves, it moves. And my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable.
Well, guys, the media have removed Boris Johnson from office, as you likely know by now. It seems he tried to hang on, but rash jumped ship, and reality ended up biting pretty hard. Of course, I expect Carrie's not happy that the expensive wallpaper will have to come down now, but at least Boris can make more money giving speeches like Tony Blair did, so there is that for her, I guess. Either way, though, the media campaign to get him out has been relentless and proves that people don't choose the leader if the media decide to remove him. In fact, it proves we live in the illusion of democracy, if you ask me. Now, as you know, the BBC and other media tosspots have rolled out anyone they can to attack Boris Johnson's integrity. This despite the fact these same people wouldn't know integrity if it came and pin-slapped them in the bloody face. The BBC literally has no integrity, and neither do the MPs coming for Boris Johnson now, so I do find them saying that pretty funny. I mean, they've even rolled out the likes of Matt Hancock to discredit Boris Johnson, despite the fact this clown has less moral compass than even Boris Johnson does.
Can I ask you, in a very straightforward way, what's your message to Boris Johnson this morning?
Well, with great sadness, it's time for the Prime Minister to resign. Unfortunately, he's lost the confidence of his cabinet. He's lost the confidence of the parliamentary party, and it's time for him to stand down. And whether that happens today or whether it happens next week is second order, really. It's time for the Prime Minister to resign.
Yep, never forget, Matt Hancock, the human equivalent of gonorrhea, got caught belt-feeding his married taxpayer-funded aide the pork sword behind his wife's back, all during bat-through lockdowns that literally cost him his job. The same is true for the likes of Sajid Javid, who as Health Secretary implemented medical discrimination with no jab, no job in health and social care. He is also the same person who said we will never have jab passports before literally implementing them, the utter cretin. It's things like this that should never be forgotten by the public, and likely something that the media will actually cover up. Rishi Sunak is the same, because he went full Jeremy Corbyn on spending over the past 2 years, which now actually sees us in more debt than ever before and helped cause the cost of living crisis that we're in right now. Shit, even pretty piss poor Patel has chimed in against Boris despite 2 years of increased immigration, putting her right alongside him in the public's mind.
The British public rightly expect us to crack down hard on those abusing our system, and today's flight is a demonstration of that. But we know that there is more to do. Following the agreement of our world-leading migration and economic development partnership, my officials are working to finalise our first relocation flight to Rwanda as we work to break the model of the people smuggling gangs.
Now, aside from that, and as I've already said, to me it's clear the media are smashing the illusion of democracy here, even if many are not seeing it that way. This is likely because most people have jumped on the current thing bandwagon, which skipped from bat flu to Ukraine and now on to sacking Boris. Shit, the fact they've removed him means it's government by media opinion, because the media are driving this and literally have been for months.
Even in mid-term, after quite a few months of pretty relentless sledging, and when
Partygate failed, then pushing votes of no confidence also failed, so now the actions of someone else is used to get him out of office. Oh yes, let's not forget, some other guy groped men at a Tory club, yet Boris Johnson needs to be sacked for it. The logic there is obviously incredible, but they acted like Boris did it, so the details are really irrelevant to them and obviously the MPs watching. It is, of course, guilt by association, which, to be honest with you, I'm actually fine with. I say that because it should mean all politicians from every political party are kicked out of Parliament for 2 years of lockdown and medical fascism that they all supported. Now, personally, I think Boris Johnson should be arrested for the 2 years that he ruled by executive fiat, locking people in their homes and stopping them seeing dying loved ones, not a guy groping some dude in a bloody club. It's as I've said before, there are 100 reasons Boris Johnson should be sacked, but the media avoid them because they obviously supported it all. This is why they're using the actions of others to pressure MPs to quit the government and obviously bring it down. This, they claim, is the morally right thing to do and all that, but as you know, politicians literally have no morals, so they don't really care what other MPs do, but they do care about optics. These MPs know the media want the PM gone and will smear anyone standing with him until he goes, so like cowards, they all jump ship and bloody quick. Now, while I don't like Boris, as many of my videos over the past 2 years will show, I hate the media more, and the worry for me is who's gonna replace him. If you ask me, the people being touted are just as bad as him or even worse, so getting rid of Boris could really put us right in the shit. I mean, you don't want China-loving, lockdown-supporting tosspots like Jeremy Hunt replacing him, do ya? Plus, now the media have got this done, we will see Labour demanding a new election daily because the new leader won't have been elected to run the country by the public, will they? We see it when Boris took over from Maybot in 2019, so these Tory MPs might well have just lost their own seat should an election be called in the months ahead. That would be funny, I've got to say, but also extremely catastrophic for the country, I don't mind telling ya. A Labour and Lib Dem coalition is a real possibility now, which would also mean goodbye Brexit and any hope of stopping the woke nonsense infecting our lives. In fact, Labour will take wokeness to a whole new level without a bloody doubt, so yeah, a shit show in every sense of the word is certainly possible. Of course, there is some good news that could well come out of this, because it could mean things like the online arm bill never comes to pass, though the next tosser in number 10 could just bring that back, of course. Some people out there think it means the end of net zero bollocks, but I'm sorry to say I highly doubt that's going to be the case. In fact, the next traitorous scumbag in number 10 will likely just ramp it up.
But also that we're building back better together, and building back greener, and building back fairer, and building back more equal, and how shall I, more, in a more gender neutral and perhaps a more feminine way.
Me, I don't trust any of them, and I literally never will. The media I trust less than anyone, so them removing governments, as they seem to have done here, is not something I'm ever going to cheer on, even if I think Boris Johnson is a prick.
But as we've seen at Westminster, the herd instinct is powerful, and when the herd moves, it moves. And, my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable. And our brilliant and Darwinian system will produce another leader equally committed to taking this country.
Where